At Racecraft Simulations, we always strive to innovate and bring the newest products to our customers to get the best racing simulation experience possible. But when the time comes where John, our leader, wants a brand new simulator rig for his home use, we step things up a notch. Introducing the new Racecraft Simulations Stage 7 Full Motion Racing Simulator. Of course, what we know to be the most important features in your sim racing experience is the ergonomics and touch points when you're in the rig. Starting things off underneath your feet, a set of SimTag tilt and hydraulic pedals right beneath your feet. They provide the ultimate feedback and that stiff hydraulic pedal feel that you come to expect from a rear-end race car. Up to the steering now, and a SimuCube Pro 2 wheelbase for providing all of that extra feedback and that hard detail that you need from the car, all driving a custom SimCore OMP GT wheel, of course with a SimCore extension and a HRS quick release. Shifting, if you like your stick shifters, done through a Jinx shifter, custom engraved with John's Racecraft logo as well, and you find yourself seated in a Racetech 4119 bucket seat. This is the ultimate in what you can park your backside in your sim rig. Of course, that's got a custom wrap on the designed by RSW Graphics, a set of Sparco Endurance 5-point harnesses and the seatbelt tensioner device. What many people consider to be the most important part of your racing simulator, we spared no expense. Right here in the graphics, we've gone for true 4K monitors driven by the latest NVIDIA 4090 graphics card. Starting off with the chassis on the Stage 7 setup, we've got the Racecraft RKS 2.5R. This is the medium ground, the most common chassis we sell to our customers, with a great amount of legroom and accessibility to get in and out of the rig, plus the R for all the upgraded hardware for that premium experience. That is sitting on top of 4 150mm logical actuators. They simulate the body roll on each corner of the car. That is sitting on top of a separate frame with 2 traction loss actuators. They're 200mm logical actuators, one front, one rear, and then of course in the middle a surge actuator for the fore and aft movement of the car while driving. Bolted into the chassis as well, we do have 5 butt kicker advanced modules, 2 in the front directly underneath the pedal deck to simulate all the rumblings and haptics at the front end of the car that happen underneath your feet, and then 3 underneath the seat at the back. The accessories, those little 1%ers that finish off the immersion and experience while you're in the Racecraft Stage 7 rig. We start off with the Logitech 5.1 surround sound system for that ultimate audio immersion, completely wrapping around you while you're racing. A dash display thanks to Grid Engineering, the Porsche DDU10 display, joined up right next to the SimPush Race Logic timer that gives you that little extra experience like what you'd expect inside a GT car. Button box duties from the Racebox button box with an Elgato Stream Deck display as well, and then the Racecraft fan kit. 2 fan vents in the front to keep you nice and cool while driving, and then a 3rd fan blowing in the ducting to the back of the Racetech seat to keep you cool for those long stints in the rig. The new Stage 7 from Racecraft Simulations, the new flagship going beyond racing simulation.
Welcome aboard to Racestars TV for round 9 of the F3A Racecraft Euro Series tonight live from Imola, and we're about to head down. We'll end of qualifying almost upon us now. The times just coming through on your screen right now. You can see it is Greg Bradley who has topped the times with a 1:36.992, half a second clear of Daniel Byrne tonight. It's quite a big spread there across the top 5 cars, just almost a second with Johnston rounding out the top 5. So not as close as we're used to seeing. This track will test them out. It is a tricky race circuit, great in these formula cars, and plenty of history here to boot as well. I'm joined once again, Dave Roberts in the commentary box. Welcome, Dave, as we head into the first of 2 races tonight, the silver 35-minute Class A race tonight.
Good evening, Luke. How you doing?
Good. Just enjoying that video, a slightly corrupted video there from Racecraft. We'll try and get a better version of that for next week. And it's a beautiful looking race rig as we saw at the intro there, but obviously the video quality is just a little bit jittery there. So we'll see if we can get a new and improved version of that. But how cool does that sim rig look?
Yeah, fantastic, fabulous. I hope that John and the guys at Racecraft in the future maybe do us a formula rig where you're sort of lying down a bit. I reckon that I'd love to see them do that.
I would fall asleep trying to race if I had a lay down rig. But mate, I'm looking forward to tonight. There's a lot of history at this racetrack. It's obviously a tricky racetrack as well. Whenever I've done anything here, I've found it hell hard to get a good lap around here. We will go straight down to the grid, but I'll get your thoughts once we get into the race a little bit tonight to sort of work out exactly what's going to go on. So this is your race order as we go straight down to the grid now. It will be Greg Bradley, who's jagged pole position from Daniel Byrne. The Kittens racing up there again tonight. Jason Merrifield starts from the second row with David Gallo alongside him. Andrew Johnson, good performance tonight to go P5 ahead of Mickey Rubok. And then you've got Gavin Nins and Brant Johnson, your top 8 drivers. Steve Cassidy starts down in 9th place tonight with Jorgen Smith in the top 10. It's Wayne Shepherd 11th on the grid tonight, and Daniel Gomes starting out at P12. Over the page as we head to the lower half of this grid. Not a huge field tonight for the silver, but I'd tell you what, the goal will be massive tonight. 40 cars around here. We've got Peter Minute in 13th place. Ben Arthur, your top 14. 15th on the grid is Brad Hudson alongside Swanspool. Get that out, Luke. Ty Swanepoel. How's that? In P16 tonight. Stephen Fallen 17th. Sasha Grushin in 18th place tonight. Ben Johansson and Andrew Lachlan rounding out your top 20. It's Gary Goodeve, and good eve to you as well. In 21st place, John Lee starts from 22nd. Lucas Burt and Lockie Capel in the safety car standing by. Hopefully not needed tonight. Unlike the Australian Formula 1 Grand Prix, hopefully we can leave the safety car in the pit lane and get ourselves a good race in. So Dave, what is the tricky points of this Imola circuit as we get set for race number 1 tonight?
Well, there's quite a few of them. Just about everywhere is tricky points. So yeah, very long straight. So you've got really high speed into that first chicane. The first chicane is a really high speed chicane. So whether you get that right or don't is you make and break the lap in the first corner effectively. Very tricky. The next one we'll go down. You go for a left and a right, and it seemed a lot faster than it really is. The second part tightens up a lot, so you quite often see people run off to the left before they get down to God, I can't think what the corner's called, the tight left-hander. That left-hander is really important because out of it is a big hill climb straight up the hill, so you've got to get that corner right. Over the top, good fast sweep up at the end. You go down into Aqua Minerale, which is got a fast right-hander followed by a tight right-hander and back out up the hill. Really easy to get it wrong. So and you'll see a lot of people get it wrong. You'll see a lot of people run wide, and if you go too wide, there's a slowdown on the left. It's difficult, and then you got to climb up out of there. So you need to carry your speed through it, so you've got speed up the hill. Into another tight chicane which has got monster curbs on it, can really upset the F3 cars. So that's every corner so far.
It's punishing on those slowdowns, as you mentioned, so they'll try and keep it on the track. That first chicane obviously is a pinch point for a lot of these cars. Let's hope they can take it a little bit easy. We're just waiting on 2 competitors still to join the grid, but that you've just got to get through the first lap here, and if you're in the mid-pack, you've got to have some nerves right now, not just about the race, but just clearing the first corner. Who will we see? Just maybe hang back a little bit. We're missing Jason Merrifield off the second row of the grid, so we do have a gap on the grid as the revs rise and we get away racing. Nice start at the front there. Greg Bradley did get away well, but incredibly we've lost a position already. So Merrifield's going to go right to the back of the grid and start rear of field. Hopefully he gets out on the track, and Swanepoel is the other one that's missing us. So far, so good. Looks like they're all snaking their way through the first couple of turns through the chicane, and Greg Bradley leads its way out in front.
Good bit of respect there in those first couple of corners. You just got to give room. You just have to, otherwise your race is ruined before it even starts. So this is where I was saying that this is the left-hander coming up now. Really, really critical. Big steep climb up out of here. And you know, if you mess that corner up, you lose so much time, because look at the climb up here, and it's quite a long climb as well.
Yeah, they almost look a little bit pedestrian going up the hill there. Obviously, it shows with the limited horsepower in these cars. Unless they're under safety car, they seem very slow there. Upper speed?
I have no idea. It's looking slow at the back to me too.
Everything's backed off. 1.8 seconds between the leaders. So
safety car.
There you go.
We do have safety car. I missed it as well.
Right, I didn't hear it. I'm trying to work out.
Pair of tacks, hey mate.
I think maybe the safety car's even crashed out there tonight. So that was to do with Gary, Peter, Bent, and another car. I think Jason Merrifield did get out of the pit lane, so he's out on the racetrack. We'll try and work out where the safety car is. Obviously, he's still at the end of the pit lane, so this is going to be a very slow lap to get back around, and we'll see if we can't get you out there and show you a replay of what went wrong at the start. But
I just missed completely what happened. I thought everyone got through the first couple of corners pretty clean.
Yeah, here's a look at the replay now. So this is Gary Goody further back in the field. No wheel spin, good getaway. And something's going to... Oh, there's cars tripping over each other just in front, and then a big secondary incident.
Somebody stalled on the grid, it looks like.
Yeah, that might be Pete Minute. Let's have a quick look at his start here and see if he was the one.
Get away.
So watch the green car, and he's just gone. Oh, he changed camera angles there, isn't ideal. We'll go again with...
I think the car in front's had big wheel spin, and he's got a good drive, and he's gotten to the back of him and braked, and it's all gone wrong.
So let's just watch Bench Johansson here. No, that was different again. Watch Johansson gets that second impact, and plenty of damage for him.
Car number 16 that was slow away. Car number 16, Wayne Shepherd. He was the one who was actually slow away.
Well, let's concentrate on Wayne Shepherd then. This is a shot out the back of Wayne's car. So this should show us, yeah, like you said, heaps of wheel spin, and there's a contact. It was a little bit... Gary's sort of gone straight to the back of him, hasn't he?
Yep. Well, he tried to go up beside him, but I think Wayne's had a bit of a wheel spin and gone a little bit right as he's gone a little bit left, and they've all ended up in the same place.
Sorry, it wasn't Gary. This is on board Gary now. So he gets into the second part of this incident on the brakes, and then just nowhere to go, and just gives that little tap there, takes the rear wing off the car in front. And
it's funny, the races we've had before at Imola, it tends to have accidents on the start line. I have no idea why. It's not a straight start line. It is curved, but yeah, it should be the same. But it just seems to invite errors on the start line. I think last time it was Ty in race control, when he wasn't in race control, was out there causing race control.
Well,
had a nice little start and got it very, very sideways in his first ever start, sideways across the grid, and took out half the field. And I think he decided that night that he should probably go into race control.
I remember, and that actually made the highlight reel for a long time. There was a car up in the air going past the flags marshal spot.
It did.
But yeah, look, this is interesting. So we've got a slow lap here under caution.
Right.
And gives us a good chance probably to mention a couple of sponsors to start the evening, and welcome everyone that's tuning in and watching as well, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, over on RSTV AU on YouTube. But hello, Christine, Sher, Nick, everyone else getting involved. We've got Keithy over on Facebook as well. G'day, mate. And thanks to the big sponsors that have come on board again this season. We're almost at the end, the penultimate round, and a big thanks to Racecraft. You saw that rig at the start. Massive thanks to VRS, as always. And the code word for tonight's competition is MERSEY, so get onto that, MERSEY, and you've only got this week. This is the final night to enter that competition. We will draw a $99 package prize next week, and thanks to Lovely Stickers again as well for getting on board as they do and giving us that percentage off, as you can see on the screen right now. And also, Dave, what we got a chance to talk about, because I know it's out there in the world now for people to know about, but there's been an announcement about a new championship coming up soon.
Yeah, so we've been in negotiations with Formula Ford Australia, who run the real-world Formula Ford series in Australia. And what we've done is we've got together and we're going to run a officially licensed by Formula Ford and under the Formula Ford Australia banner, but run an E-Series to match with their Australian Championship. So it'll be 10 rounds, basically around about a race a month. There's a couple of two, so it runs from, I think, May through to December, or end of November, I think it is. Let me get it right. And yeah, there's 1 to 2 races each month, and it's going to be very much a similar F3A format, but with Formula Fords.
Awesome. Oh, the spinner. Look at this. As we go back to green, and Greg Bradley has just looped it on the restart and thrown away.
Tyres.
Oh, can you believe that? He's thrown it in the wall, which puts Daniel Burns straight up now into P1. David Gallo following.
Sit there and wait for everybody to go by.
Oh, he's gone to the back of the field. That's heartbreaking, but just he actually got a great jump too. He didn't need to feed that much throttle into it.
No. Easy mistake on cold tyres. See, they didn't really have time to get the tyres warm. They only did a half a lap off the start, and then they've been behind safety cars, so the tyres would have been extremely cold.
Oh, I can't believe that. He must be absolutely devastated as we look back. Mickey up into P3 now. Andrew Johnson, 4th place, and then Brent Johnson just behind. I think it was it you that called out Andrew Johnson a week or two ago and said, mate, why aren't you out there racing? And here he is.
Yeah, no, I was having to go at Phil Vella too, because Phil's very, very quick in an F3 car. He's probably one of the fastest guys on iRacing in when you put him in an F3 car, and he really should be out there. Yeah, he'll be back someday.
It's good to see Andrew out there doing
well.
well.
Him in a Formula Ford if we're lucky.
Maybe, yeah. Well, we got another spinner there. Was that Brant Johnson? He caught it.
Save.
Yeah, nice save. Caught it in the end, but it will drop about 5-6 positions back to 12th place now. And yeah, it's quick when the field's compressed like it is right now, lap 3. It's easy to lose a stack of positions, and they just got to give more respect to the cold tyres, don't they? It's the guys out in front. Kittens now running 1-2 Kittens Racing. They are doing just that, and they're starting to just gap the field slightly. It's already a 5-second gap over the top 6 drivers.
Yeah, you just got to be patient and let the tyres come in. And I mean, if you drop a spot or two, it's better to drop a spot or two and get your tyres warm than it is to be, backwards in a fence or whatever. So they've just got to take it easy. It's really easy to say, really hard to do when you're racing a car.
Yep, John Lee racing for position here. Jason Merrifield, who's coming from the back of the grid. I'm not sure if he was penalised or what happened, but he had to start pit lane, and now he's fighting here with John Lee to get back into 14th position in that retro Williams livery. And
looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks so cool. I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I'd love to see a retro Formula One round with all cars running Formula One liveries. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Probably get in trouble from licensing or something, but hey.
So be it.
So be it. I've said that before and got me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So lots of purple sectors here across the top 4, each to their own. Everyone's got themselves purple sector to their name. Just watching where Dave Gallo is. How much pressure does he put here on his teammate early on in the race? Still got 26 minutes to go. 1 pit stop required. Brant Johnson is making a move here on Steve Kasidis. Further down the order, this is for P10. So back into the top 10 now, Brant Johnson. Textbook move, and I think Sasha might get a better run up the hill. That was a terrible amount of wheel spin there for Steve, and that's cost him a position.
That's what I was saying down at Aquamarine Raleigh. It's got a tight right with a bit of a left curve on the way out, and if you get it wrong, you lose your momentum, and it's a big uphill climb. Somebody behind you gets that momentum, they just sail straight by.
Whoa, that was close, Jurgen.
Oh, and he's overdone, and he's put himself around sideways in front.
Daniel Gnomes it was, who I think got tagged by Ben Arthur, who's now going to carry some damage. Probably have to pit that car. So it's the slightest of touches. Jurgen almost got absolutely clobbered there as well, but got away with it. That would have been highlighted in his wing mirrors. He would have seen the car almost hit him, but he goes on in P6 now, so having a nice little run, be it by himself.
3 abreast up the main straight too, in the background there.
Yeah, looking at that now.
And yeah, it looks like they're really struggling to generate grip. So I don't know what the track temperatures are. Let's have a look at what the track temperature is. The track temperature
31.
Is it?
31 Celsius. It's 25 ambient, 31 Celsius. You can see partly cloudy here.
It should be generating a bit more heat than what they seem to be getting. A bit more grip.
Now I feel like we're under caution again here. Are we?
Yep, we are. Safety car, safety car.
So we're not hearing safety car calls tonight. I do apologise. So
No, I'm only seeing it. I'm seeing it in the text window, the confirmation text window from.
yeah, I might get you to
control.
stay all over that tonight then, because we're not
I'll
hearing
try
the
and keep an eye
audio.
on that. Yeah.
But yeah, another caution period. So this will close the field back up. This has been one of the most stretched out starts to a F3A silver race I think I've seen, with the field gapped out around 20 seconds for the top 10, 23 seconds for the top 10.
Yeah, well, that won't be for long because they're all going to bunch up behind the safety car, aren't they?
Yep.
I think maybe Rue was watching the F1 a bit too much on the weekend.
So a couple of people giving us access to cams tonight. I can see Jürgen is currently out there, and let's bring him up on the screen now. So he's sitting in P6.
I can see his little track map over there on the right-hand screen.
Yeah, he's got a good setup there.
Yeah.
Stream Deck and a few other things, but he was giving me a wave when I quickly entered his little chat room before, but he obviously is back to concentrating now under caution.
He's looking a bit stressed there at the moment.
Well, P5 for him now, so up 5 positions. Good start to the race.
No pressure.
So, obviously this is
Bit of deep breathing.
bit of deep breathing, chance to relax. Just take a sip of your drink if you got one. There you go. Now he's giving us a wave. Hello. He knows he's on camera now, so yeah. Good luck. He's been a great addition to the series, hasn't he? He's just camera every week, letting us see how hard he's working. There's a sip of the drink coming, I reckon. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's water. Look at that. Is that in a jar? Looks like a jar of water.
Nah, it's vodka.
Vodka. I hope it is. It should be one shot of vodka for every off track, I think.
Dear oh dear.
Yeah, that could get messy. So back to the real stuff though. We're under caution again. So 22 minutes to go in the race. This eats up the time, doesn't it? These safety car periods.
Back to cold tyres again.
Back to cold tyres. So I wonder how much temperature do you lose? That's the thing. You don't get any live telemetry on tyre temp, do you? It's only when the tyres come off the car, like you do in the real world, that you get a reading.
And you don't quite have the feel in the tyre that you do in the real world. So, it's very hard to judge whether it's got grip or not.
Yeah.
By the time you find out it hasn't got grip, it's a bit late and you're backwards in the fence. So you got to be you got to be a lot more gentle with the discovery of their levels of grip in the sim than you do in the real thing. But these guys they've done it enough. They probably have a fair idea, but it does seem tonight that Imola is sort of holding us with a little bit of a lack of grip or low grip levels out there.
And as far as the comparison between obviously this F3 series running into the the Formula Ford series, what's the big difference in a lap time, for example? Are we talking 10% slower, the Formula Ford? What sort of difference is there between the two cars?
Yeah, about most places are 10 to 15 seconds a lap slower.
Yep.
The biggest difference is no aero wash, so you can run right on the back of somebody. Probably a better slipstream, so it's harder to get away. So, like I was messing around with a mate at Monza in the Formula Fords, and I slipstreamed past him coming onto the straight, and then he backed off as I went by so he could drop back into my slipstream, and he towed me and passed me again before we got to the first corner. Well, that's tactical. So I think the racing is really, really cool, and we'll see really, really close racing. Couple of cars abreast that you can really dive late under brakes with them, and you don't just lock up and sail past. You sort of lock up and you run a bit wide, but you can really late dive in the things, but it costs you time if you do, because the Formula Ford really requires you to carry mid-corner speed because it's not got huge amounts of horsepower. So, but it's a fabulous little car to learn to drive. The aero is not a thing, so you take aero away, you got great grip, a light car, changes direction really well, great slipstream, good horsepower, and they're bloody quick and lots of fun to drive. Like you see people like Jan Magnussen went back and did the Formula Ford Festival last year.
Yeah.
Now he races GT cars all over the world, but he went back because he wanted to run a Formula Ford at the festival, and now I think Jenson Button's looking at running this year. He wants to run a Formula Ford. So you've got some of the ex-world champions who want to go and run a Formula Ford. When they released the Formula Ford the first weekend, I don't know, well, probably most people saw it, but there was videos all over the internet because Verstappen's out there and all he was doing was racing the Formula Ford all weekend and having a ball.
Yeah.
You got a two-time current world champion out there going, out of all the cars I can drive in the sim world, I want to drive the Formula Ford. It's so much fun because it's a really, really, really fun car to drive.
Yeah, there's Brand Johnson. He's having fun tonight. He looks like he's staring into the sun. He's got so much light going on there. But they've just picked the pace up, so the pace car is...
It goes to Brand Johnson, isn't it?
The pace car's just turned the wick up a little bit, but yeah, look, he's got the concentration eyes on getting set for a restart. What do you think Daniel Byrne will be thinking in P1? He's just seen the previous restart with Greg Bradley turn it in a circle. He'll probably have learned quickly from that.
He knows he's got his teammate behind him, so that's a little bit of a... Oh, we've got a good thumbs up on you. It's very... You're going to have to work on that contrast level there.
That's called very blown out, Brant. We need to a lot of white balance in there.
Yeah, or less makeup, mate.
Very good to have him once again giving us webcam feed. That's fantastic.
Yeah, so Daniel's got that cushion of the fact that he's got David Gallo, his teammate, behind him. But Mickey Rubok's in third, and Mickey's pretty aggressive. You know, Mickey's a real racer. He likes to get stuck in there and stick it up the inside and dive deep, and he's a real racer. So I'm hoping Mickey's going to take it to him and give him a bit of a tough time. I'd like to see that. That'd be some good racing there. Yeah,
they've really been really good at racing, and Mickey away from the series for a little bit, back again now and doing a great job. So watch from P3 Mickey Rubok. We go back to the leader getting ready now, weaving, getting some tyre temp in, waiting for that beautiful Aston Martin VRS safety car to get out of the way. And don't forget, get those entries in. VRS competition last night, tonight, next week we draw a winner, and you got to get in it to win it. It's a fantastic $99 package. You will get better at your racing if you get that package. So it's it costs you nothing to enter. I love competitions like that. All you got to do is put your name in and click the link in the description, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, no, it's been good. For me, this seems to have gone very, very quickly. But I forget that I was otherwise engaged in the middle of it. But yeah, it does seem to have gone very, very quickly. We've got this week, and next week is the final at Spa. So that's it. Oh, not next week, 2 weeks, because next week is
off.
Yeah, and then we've got a little break, and then Formula Ford comes on in May. And we'll have, in the preparation lead up to Formula Ford, there'll be some open test days for people to come get involved, try out the car. We'll talk to them about that. But don't rest there, because there's a couple of other big announcements which are as big, if not possibly in some cases even bigger than Formula Ford.
There you go.
On the way. So beware, boys. There's a lot coming.
Excellent.
And it's all going to happen between now and Christmas.
And I've got to give you guys some credit too. I just flicked through the, I'm not sure if it's public viewing yet, but the booklet you've put together for the Formula Ford series.
Prospectus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that public viewing yet?
Yeah, it is.
Mate, that is absolutely top class. And if it is public viewing, I might just, in the next safety car, have a little flick through it and show people what I mean. But the quality you guys put into this series is second to none.
Yeah, well, we're all like things to be right. And we've all got roles to play, but we're all perfectionists. So yeah, we do work hard to make sure everything looks good. And it's really important. If you're going to run a series, be proud of what you do. And we're representing some big companies. There's all the Formula Ford sponsors are involved in the esports, so they're all involved in that to give them some extra coverage. And really, what we're trying to do is hopefully open up some channels where some of these young guys running the Formula Ford in the E-Series might end up somewhere behind the wheel of a real Formula Ford. So we're working on that. I can't promise anything. We're looking at it. We're making it very, very hard to pull that off. It's easy to go and get you a renter Formula Ford, which I wouldn't even put my bum in because they're dangerous in some ways.
Yeah.
But we're trying to sort some things out. Like Formula Ford have a deal with DJR, where the winner of the Formula Ford series each year gets a test day in the DJR V8 Supercar. So we're talking to Formula Ford today about things. It's very, very difficult. We're hopeful we might be able to pull something like that together somewhere in the future.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I do love my Formula Ford racing, and I think I actually broadcast their very first E-Series, feels like years ago now, and it probably was years ago.
Yeah, that was unfortunately it was a bit of a mess in the end. That was, and the guys were adamant they didn't want to go like that again. They wanted a much more professional approach and to tie it in much stronger with the real series. Hopefully we're going to see a few of the real drivers. I mean, Eddie Beswick and Kobe. Can't think of his surname. Kobe. Anyway.
Kobe
Williams, thank you. Kobe Williams. They've raced F3A with us, and they
Yep.
both race Formula Fords at the moment. So I'm hoping they'll probably be back, possibly, and we might see some other people in there.
Yeah, good pass there down the inside. That was Sasha.
Very nice.
Yeah, Sasha's on the and the big swing of the tail end as well. But yeah, on the move up now into P5. That's 13 spots, equally matched by Andrew Laughlin a couple of positions back. Who's also up 13 spots, sneaks
Look
down
who's
for
right
another.
there.
Oh, Jason Merrifield's come back, hasn't he? Look at that, from a pit lane start.
All the way from the pit lane.
And the pit lane now up into 7th place.
Yep.
Incredible.
No, he's having a great drive, and that was really nice there seeing that between Gree and Smith down in Aquamarine Rally, and Smith knew he'd sort of left a room. The guy was on the inside. He didn't try and close him down. He left the room, slotted in behind, lived to fight another day.
Yeah.
Which is the lesson you need to learn from real racing as well, and that's why this is such good grounding for anybody who wants to go racing in the real world in the future.
Yeah, and Jurgen's just gone another position back though, so good overtake.
So Jurgen's on fire at the moment, is he? Where's
He
he
is.
up
He's
to?
got a little smile on his face too. I think, or he just, as I went to the camera, he took the smile away. But he liked that overtake, and look at that face of fury as he gets concentrating again. I love it. This is what I love seeing is all these reactions.
Up, Jurgen.
Check out their reactions, like there he is, gives us away. He must be able to hear us tonight. Hello, buddy.
Flow through the veins, mate.
Oh, mate,
Don't
he's
step
working.
up.
He's working hard though. This is one of those corners where you tense up and you turn in. You hope for the best. I hope he's not listening to us, because we'd make him very nervous, I reckon.
We're going to ruin his race if he's listening.
We're on board with him now, looking backwards though. You can see Sasha, and then listen to the tyres as well. The tyres are under a lot of strain through those corners.
Yeah, so that little kinky left on the way out, it's just awkward. You've really got to get your run right. This
Has he got a motion rig? He's filling those bumps anyway.
yeah, I think so. I think for him it's an emotion rig.
A motion rig, yeah.
There's plenty of emotion there as he's racing.
Yeah, let's see if he relaxes a bit. We'll see if he can hear us. We'll say, give us a thumbs up now you're on the straightaway. If you can hear us, give us a thumbs up and a little wave, Jurgen. He's thinking, oh, no way.
Yeah, can't hear us. And if he can, he's not going to let us know.
You can see him looking down to his relative as well, just checking where the other competitors are, not just the car behind him. And, that's pretty good. He's come back, overtaken Sasha on that lap, and then put himself ahead by 3-4 tenths of a second. So that was a good recovery.
They're having good fun and having some good racing. It's really nice when you get someone out there and you're racing and you go, oh, he gave me room, he showed me respect, and you show it back. And then at the end of the day, you go, oh, boy, I had a ball, let's have a beer.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the key to this.
Drive through for Stephen Fawns there. Incident on lap 9 as we see Bent Johansson go a one-way ticket to the fence there. He didn't make the fence, just the gravel trap. Slowed him up.
He's still straight Johansson at the moment.
That's it, like it. Sasha, these two guys just fighting. Let's just ride on board for a little bit with.
So this is down in Aquamarine Rally, the little double right-hander with the little left kink on the way out. You can pick up a slow down there, big climb up the hill. Now we're coming up to whatever the chicane's called, but it's got monster curbs on it, so you've got to really be careful of trying to stay off those curbs, and it's very easy to lose the back end on the way out here. Then we run down here, over the hill, down to the last two corners, and it's a double left. The downhill here is really steep, so you've got to brake early and keep momentum through there. The next one is a bit of a lift, and very easy to lose the car here on the curb on the way out. Now we're seeing here Merrifield carrying some real speed onto that main straight, and this is a long main straight. It's not very straight, but it's very long, and he should have him by the time they get up to turn one complex.
We got him on camera eventually there. We're trying to find where he was. He was to the left-hand side as they go wheel to wheel. That is so close.
That was awesome. That was beautiful bit of driving, giving each other room, but really, really fighting for the position.
Yeah, good respect shown, and you got to remember this isn't the top class of this series. Even though you could say these guys are all still top class racers, but we're still got to see a huge race tonight when we see the best of the best, the gold class get out there, the top 40 drivers in Australia for F3, and some of these drivers easily sneak into that top 40 every second week, but here they are again tonight fighting it out in the penultimate round of this series, thanks to Racecraft, of course, VRS, lovely stickers, and yeah, this is good racing. Only 9.5 minutes to go now. We've seen everyone go into the pits except for the top, the top 6 yet to stop. So the guy actually who has had a stop is this guy here, Merrifield. So Merrifield is...
Well, he's looking really, really good because he's only 9 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, and has stopped.
And he's got I love it, he's got the official Nigel Mansell helmet on.
Does too, look at that.
Have a look at that. He's got Nigel Mansell's helmet in the car. That's so cool. So we've got somebody calling for permission to tow.
Yeah, is it John Lee? No, it's not John Lee.
We've got a safety car. We've got a safety car.
Is that for Brant Johnson? I'm wondering. Where is Brant at the moment? He's dropped down the order. There he is. Oh, he's upside down.
Oh,
that's why.
That's a safety car. Told you those curves were monsters.
So that's why. We'll see if we can... Hopefully he's alright. But Brant Johnson is out of this race, sadly.
Bit of down under F3.
Yeah, there he is. So we've still got him
the
there.
Right way up. We should flip his photo over.
Funny enough when you say that, I was actually just trying to do that. But I wasn't quick enough.
Oh, we're bad people.
I wasn't quick enough.
We're bad people.
But yeah, look, he's sitting there at the moment, and unfortunately not doing a lot.
No. So I'd love to see what happened. Can you get us a replay there?
We'll get your replay.
Maestro?
Yep. So let's have a look. There's Greg Bradley was there as well at some point. So here's a replay now. Let's see what's happened. Whoop. So.
Oh,
what happened there? He lost the back end. He's going to get clipped.
Oh, what an unfortunate little flip over.
Yeah, that was an awkward. But yeah, so it was just a secondary clip from someone else.
Like a pancake. That was so unfortunate, and it was really just a comedy of errors that caused it. Nobody's real fault. Nobody really did anything bad. It was just awkward.
So we're just going to 7 minutes to go. So if we get probably only a couple of laps in at the end of this.
So Rue's been watching too much F1 again. He's going to do a last lap safety car, isn't he?
Now tell me, I mean, I love my F1, but why did they do that last lap?
It's all about a technicality, because they pulled a red flag.
Yeah.
They restarted the race. I don't personally agree with them being able to change tyres and everything under a red flag. I think a red flag is a red flag. Stop the race and just cease the race. Not allowed to touch the car, and they should have to start exactly as they are. But yeah, that's my opinion. But so they stopped the race, then they restarted it, and Sainz had the incident where he punted Alonso in the first corner, and that was his fault. And I know Alonso said, it was a harsh penalty, but mate, if you'd done that in this, we would have given you the same penalty. So, you've got to show a bit more care, and Carlos has a bit of a habit of doing that. So, anyway, that's all happened, and it happened before the end of the first sector. So they didn't have full field go through a sector before the red flag came out. And they needed them to go through the first sector so as they could register a running position, official running position, before they red flagged the event. So they couldn't. So then they had to go back to the lap before, which meant that then they just did the lap because they needed to do they had to do a lap because the race is 58 laps. You have to do 58 laps, so they just put them out behind safety car and ran them around to the start-finish line. So it was a technicality, but the reason they had to go back the lap was because not every car got through the first sector before the red flag came out. So they didn't have an official running order for the whole field.
Well, there you go.
That's why I had to go back. So
Yeah, I just think half a lap would have been better than finishing it under yellow.
I just personally think that half of those safety car and red flag conditions could have been handled with double yellows. I think it's just...
The tyre. The tyre on the track was a classic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just become, who was it? David Coulthard. I was watching the F1 Pro app on Foxtel because I can't stand listening to David Croft. But, David Coulthard was on there and he was saying that, F1 has just become a workplace health and safety nightmare. And that's what all these yellow flags and red flags and safety cars, and it's all workplace health and safety. And it is beyond a joke. I think there's got to be some other ways they can handle things with double yellows, with running, where they have to run the pit limiter speed through a sector or something or other, and not interrupt the race so much and let them race for all of the track except the sector that has a tyre on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, that's it.
There's got to be some way to do it. The safety cars, like my driver of the day I gave to Bernd Mylander in the safety car because he did more laps than anyone else.
Yep. Sher's saying we're not answering questions anymore. Well, Sher, you've only
sorry.
Sher's only asked one question, and it's referring to the fact that my overlay program's still broken, and so I didn't want to tell the world, but anyway, yes, Sher, it's still broken. There you go. There's your pit strategy. I'll take it away now.
But his countdown's working.
And my countdown's working well.
I must apologise because I haven't got the thread, the chat thread up on my screen tonight.
That's all right. But that's the only question so far. So anyway, hello, Sher. Okay. Welcome, Mort. Welcome, Adrian, as well. Already says kittens, no team orders. Sprint to the end, battle. He says with the exclamation mark. So, Byrne and Gallo at the top here for the kittens cars. May see them really tough it out. It's looking like a one-lap sprint, by the way, because the safety car's only just picking the pace up now.
So, safety car coming in this lap. So there we go.
So one-lap sprint. Mickey sitting in P3, pretty good for a podium at this stage, and Gavin Nin's also P4. Jürgen, is P5, so it's all to be had here in the last lap. So, Sher saying, well, we didn't see all of the drivers go through the pits. Well, that's because the top 5 have not pitted. With all the safety cars, the top 5 have gone around without stopping. So, if they run out of fuel on this last lap, Jason Merrifield will be in the box seat. I mean, he's got speed anyway, hasn't he? P6. Could still come away with the victory here. Any splutters from the top 5, interesting. Could be an upset.
Yes, so they're trying to get to the finish without a pit stop, hey?
Yeah. So safety car is
out
of the way, getting out of the way. We've got 1:50 to go, so one lap will be it.
Oh, it's just like F1.
It is just like F1. Suspense building. Car's still weaving. That's Mickey P3 weaving around.
I wonder who's going to play Carlos Sainz.
Well, Ty Swanepoel's done well to get back into the top 10. John Lee's running P9 as well. Shout out to John. 13 spots
awesome,
into the top
John.
10. Well done.
If John can get a top 10, that is absolutely sensational.
Another driver to not stop, though. So he's running on a zero-stop strategy.
Well, I'm going to cross my fingers for John because he deserves a top 10 finish. He's such a great supporter of sim racing, of the series, and just constantly positive. I've got everything crossed for a top 10 for John.
Yeah, we get away well there. Restart time. Gallo fighting and back further. Andrew Lachlan going wheel to wheel here with Swanepoel, who makes up another position now into the top 7. Back further, there's a little bit of jostling, 2-3 wide as they go through there. John Lee getting a good run through there as well. P10 just lost one position, but he's got a swarm of cars behind him trying to get through.
He's got people all over him from behind. He's under pressure.
Out in front of the top 3.
Hold it together, John. Hold it together.
The top 3 sneak away. And look at this. It's Daniel Byrne looking like he's strong enough at the moment.
He's just got, somebody's got a little bit sideways back behind him. So here's Mickey's having a bit of a go here. He's up on their tail. Come on, Mickey. Go get those kittens.
Jürgen as well, P4, holding on to that position ahead of Gavin Nins. And Nins has dropped back slightly as Merrifield sneaks through another position into 6th now. But out in front, with only a couple of corners to run, it's going to be...
John could have a position back there. I'm watching John Lee on my other monitor, and he's having a good run. He's hanging in there, Luke. He's hanging in there. He's 12th.
Well, we'll watch this at the front because the Kittens, we know the gloves are off.
For each other.
Yeah, we know the gloves are off. They can race these two.
Cat fight. Cat fight.
Through the final corner now and to the checker flag. It's going to be Daniel Byrne with a good exit out of there. Should be enough to do it. So it's a win for Burns.
A little weave up the finish
Gallo
line, so
P2, Mickey Rubuck P3, Gavin Nins will take 4th. Wheel to wheel with, wow, that was close between himself and Merrifield.
John Lee's 11th. John Lee has finished 11th. That is awesome. That's made my night.
Race 1 run and done. That's it for Silver tonight with the penultimate round, and it's Daniel Byrne, your race winner. He'll be celebrating that. We'll get him in for a chat shortly so I can then get across to the gold server and get set up for race number 2. A couple of standouts in that race. Andrew Lachlan made up 13 positions, top 7 finish. Ty Swanepoel back to 6, up 10 as well. And John Lee, 11th, up 11. So great drive by John tonight. Congratulations. But winning the race up 1 position, Daniel Byrne up 2 spots. David Gallo, getting P2, and Mickey Roebuck. They've finished 3rd tonight, up 3 positions. We'll talk to them shortly. So don't go anywhere. We'll get the results as soon as they're made available from iRacing. And thanks to iRacing, they're made available right now. So there's your overall results for race number 1, round number 9, the silver class here tonight. And it was a 1/10 of a second win for the top 10 there, thanks to the safety car covered by 6.7 seconds. And no stops there for quite a few of the front drivers. In fact, the top 4 did not make a pit stop in that race, and it has paid off. So good job, good strategy, and calling that strategy when there is no need for it with the safety cars we've had in for race 1 tonight is pretty handy.
Yeah, it was very, very clever little strategy there. I didn't pick that coming up at all. I'm going, when are they pitting? When are they pitting? I just didn't realise how quick how much fuel they'd managed to save. So that's very, very well done.
Great job. Well, let's get we'll get Mickey in first. So P3 tonight, and a fantastic return to the podium. They've done a great job. Congratulations, Mickey. That is 3rd place and very well deserved.
Hello, gorgeous. Thank you for saying so.
Hello.
I didn't have to work for it that hard in places, but I did have a great view of 2 vastly faster drivers ahead.
Well, they look quick out in front. Obviously, a safety car plagued round again. And no pit stop. Was there any nerves towards the end there, not having enough fuel?
I reckon the other 2 will say this probably oversaved fuel a drastic degree. I thought maybe we're looking at 2 safety cars max. When the 3rd one came out, it was like, okay, I gotta get a bucket or something. Getting this gas out of this damn thing.
Yeah, well, great performance and fantastic to have you up there. Which, you know what, the best thing about you being on the podium tonight is for the final round, you'll be in gold.
At Spa.
At Spa?
At Spa.
Are you killing me, fellas? I don't want to be in gold at Spa.
We want you in gold at Spa, so that's fantastic. So, no, looking forward to that, mate. It's been great. It's been a great series. It's, you know, F3A. You're quick. Where do we see you next series? You know, like consistently in gold. I feel like, Mickey, you're right on the wave. You ride the wave of, you know, mid-pack in gold, and then you're back in silver, and then you're back at the top of silver, then you're back into gold, mid-pack in gold. What are we going forward?
Oh man, I guess I'd say it's super demoralizing getting up into gold and realizing the talent present in this series. I'm not trying to gas people up. Where last season, I remember we were setting global track records in pre-qualifying every freaking week.
Crazy.
And getting into gold is nice, but you have to work exponentially harder. Makes silver look like a walk in the park, even though silver's really fast and you have to practice all damn week for that blue.
Fantastic. Who would you like to thank before we let you go? P3 tonight.
Gotta thank team at Prismatic Motorsports and all their sponsors that make it possible. That's certifiably diverse. Go for the Gap and Cadan computers. Sincere apologies anyone missed. Oh, the F3A crew. This is the best damn series on the continent.
Thank you for
ripper job. Can't wait to see you in the final round in gold. Thanks, Mickey Rubok. And P2 tonight, Dave Gallo. Great drive, mate. Kittens Racing, number 3. Got yourself P2 behind your teammate tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Pretty stoked with that. Sort of kept out of some of the carnage, and a bit relieved at the start there. We knew Greg was going to sort of stretch us there a little bit with his qualifying time, so just cleared out and kept it clean, so happy with that.
And we know there's no team orders at the end there, so the race was on.
Yeah, no, it was there. So just that bit of legs on me and couldn't quite get there. So, but it's good. We just needed one or two more laps.
Well, fantastic job tonight. So P2, who would you like to thank?
AML Technology, driver 808, and Kittens Racing.
Great job. And then our winner for tonight's race, up one position, Daniel. Congratulations, good win. You got to be stoked with that, and you'll finish also. You'll be in the final round in gold next week.
Yeah, I'm wrapped with that. It's an awesome track. I always struggle here for some reason, and during practice I kept putting it in the wall, so I was really worried during the race if I was going to, just going to make a small mistake, and that would have been the end of it. But happy with the result, and David did well, and we were hoping for a few more laps at the end there, so we could actually have a full-on battle. But we only got one lap in the end, but it was good.
Well, stoked to have you win another race tonight. Congratulations. Who would you like to thank for P1?
Shout outs to Bianca and Atari, to Kittens Racing, Driver 808, AML Technology, and the guys at Carlin's as well.
Great drive. So your top three tonight, Daniel Byrne with the win, David Gallo P2, and Mickey Ribok P3. You guys are legends. We'll see you next week in gold.
See you there.
See you, handsome.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao. All right, that's it for tonight's silver race. We've still got gold to go. So Dave, we'll take a quick break as I load up the new server, and we'll be back shortly.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
See you then.
Righto, let's go do that right now, and I'll be back with you very soon. Okay, part 2 of the evening. We are over in the gold server now as we see the best of the best qualify for this penultimate round of the series. Jack Mara sitting on top, Benjamin Roberts P2 in qualifying with 4 minutes to go, and Dylan O'Shea, good to see him back tonight as well, sitting in 3rd place, and Josh Banks, your top 4. So, well, it's on in the championship. I've got to bring this up because the championship points in the F3A leaderboard, Jack Mara on top, 1,052 points ahead of Bailey Evans, Reese McGetz, Paul Rogers. You got to go all the way down past Rob Bowden to Benjamin Roberts, 748 points. And gee, needs a good result tonight to try and scrounge anything out of this championship, probably even to make it to the top 3 after missing some rounds. So a lot of work tonight for Benny Roberts, and someone who's been going very well and is due a good win tonight maybe is this man, Rob Bowden as well. We know, Dave, you've been watching him intently, and he's been quick, just needs that consistency. So we just 3 minutes to go now in qualifying. Who else is there? Luke Mitchison's, he's been quick of late. Caleb Dawson's up there again. Damien Cairns has just gone from strength to strength as we've watched him over the last year or so, jumping out of a supercar into these Formula 3 cars and taking it with 2 hands and being incredibly fast. Philip Worley's another driver that's impressing. He's just gone off the track, but he's gone P2 ahead of Benjamin Roberts now in this final part of qualifying. Sam Mort has just gone through 18th. He's trying to complete this lap and go even quicker again. Can he get himself up into the top 10 on a lap? Lee Hardy's just gone off the track and backwards. Who else is still yet to set a time? Kalen Arthur way down in 35th place. I expect to probably jump up a few spots as he crosses the line now. So from 36th place on the grid, 2 seconds off the pace. Can Arthur head forward? And the answer is no. So stays 36th place. Jack Mara on top of the championship, on top of the world, and on top of the times here with 2 minutes to go in this quali session. A 1:36.113, the top time, 2/10 clear of Worley, 2 and a bit tenths clear of Roberts, 3/10 clear of O'Shea, and 4/10 clear of P5 Banks. So the top 5, in fact the top 10 covered by 7/10 of a second, a little bit closer than we saw in silver, but still quite stretched out in the terms of F3A. We've seen some circuits where the top 10 can be covered by less than a couple of tenths of a second, and is incredibly competitive this series, as we see Anthony Mazzocca as well. P13 for him at the moment, heading up the hill in this Prospect car, looking great as always. These F3 cars beautiful in the sunshine here at Imola, and we'll have a quick check of the track temperature as well as we go into the race. It's 32 degrees, 24 degrees ambient temperature tonight. It's heating up out there, and so is the action. Now 2/10 of a second cover the top 2. And Jack Mara, a minute to go. This should be the final lap of qualifying now, and we'll see how they all roll out before we go into the grid. G'day Phil Vella in the chat tonight over on Twitch, and hello everyone else watching along. Feel free to comment. I am monitoring the comments, not as much as I can always, because I've got my eyes all over different things tonight, making sure it's all working smoothly, as always, the technical side of things. But g'day Bard Rodkin as well, who's put a comment in Facebook. Hello, welcome to the broadcast, welcome to round number 9 of this F3A Championship, thanks to the wonderful Racecraft simulations, the Euro series. We've done the European circuit in this championship, which has been a lot of fun. Righto, let's get ourselves ready. 20 seconds till we go to the grid. So with 20 seconds to go, we've got our audio back, so we should be able to hear some comments from race control in race 2 tonight. And Robert's still sitting in 3rd. What can he do as he finishes his lap? He's done a couple of purple sectors, coming through the final corners now. Welcome back, Dave Roberts. And Roberts needs a performance tonight, does need to try and scrounge something out of this championship. Look at him hugging the fence to the line. Goes P2, 46 thousandths of a second, nothing in it between the top 2. and that has put us in a great position for a fantastic race tonight. How close is that?
Wow, that's not much in that, is there?
Not
Like,
at all.
If you look at that in real terms, it's probably an inch at the nose, if that.
Kaylen Huff has struggled a bit tonight at this track, 36th place, and a fair chunk off the pace. Max Lumpton as well hasn't set a lap time, although may just be about to do that, crossing the line now. And nope, stays 42nd, which will move him up to 40th place, in fact 41st place on the grid. 41 cars out there tonight.
A safety car there.
No, there's an extra car out there, 42 including the safety car. Oh, am I wrong? No, I think I'm right.
Hang on a minute, I'll be back in a second.
Maybe someone's out there that shouldn't be out there, so Dave Roberts going off to investigate. But definitely 42 cars, including the safety car. It's meant to be the top 40, so we'll see what's going on there as we see someone back into the pits. Luke Mitchelson is the last car out on the circuit now. Time has elapsed, just sliding the car around, having a bit of fun. And
Yeah. Sorry, Luke.
you're back.
Yeah, I just checked with the race controller. I think Max Lumsden's actually not supposed to be here. I don't think he's qualified.
I gotcha. So he's out there on the circuit, or he was. No, he's still out there on the circuit, so
You might see him disappear in a
he
second.
might get the big boot.
Yeah, I think that too. Anyway,
Fair enough. Righto, well, we're running done for
We're gonna
qualifying.
race control. Talk to Rue Massey.
Rue Massey, well, he's gone now, so he's off the circuit, and we'll be able to bring the grid to you right now. So this is how they will line up for the penultimate round of this series tonight. It will be Jack Mara off pole position, leading the championship against the previous champion from last series, Benjamin Roberts, P2. Philip Worley starts from second row tonight with Dylan O'Shea alongside him, then Josh Banks and Rob Bowden once again qualifying in the top 6 up there in P6 tonight. Rhys McGatz and Chris Ireland with Luke Mitchelson and Harrison Lillis will round out the top 10. Paul Rogers 11th place, Josh Fitt your top 12. Further back down the grid, and it's a long grid here with 40 cars. Mazoka starts from 13th, Brad Wooten alongside him. Sam Mort on the 8th row tonight, Sam alongside Caleb Dawson. And then you've got Bailey Evans, who's right up there in the championship too, 17th. Scott Bargen next to him. Damien Cairns 19th with Will Ryan rounding out your top 20. 21st, Marcus Knitska for Pace Syndicate with James Glasspool next to him. And then you've got Alex Stilbovics and then Craig Anspach, your top 24. 25th on the grid, Lee Hardy with Brian Cooper, Trent Gostley and Chris Barnes in 28th position with Mabry and Sanders, your top 30. Then it's a John Nikoloff down there in 31st place, Robbie Griffiths 32nd, Adam Simpson 33rd place with Alex Court, a couple of Alexes, and sorry, it was Adam Simpson, Alex Court 34th, Ben Brazier down in 35th place with Kaylen Arthur, your top 36. 37th on the grid, it's a hell of a grid. We're back in Lockie Taylor territory with Luke Hyde in 38th, Jared Steen and Lachlan Capella in the safety car, which means Max Lumsden will not be in the race and Christian Hermanson will be starting from P last. I think that's how I read it. And well, let's get set to go racing.
At the big field of cars, and there's some very, very serious punters there that are not up the front, Luke.
Well, and I hope when you say punters, you don't mean punting off the racetrack, because
No, I mean,
this turn 1 will be tight
Yeah.
with this many cars, isn't it?
yes.
So we just wait. We've got about, I know we're about to get going. So listen for the revs about to rise here and get underway. We've got one car back in the pits already. It's Trent Gostley. And we wait for the green. There's your green. Good getaway. Bit of smoke in the mid-pack, but the championship contender and the ex-champion got away very well. Jack Mara and Roberts. Here we go, down into turn 1 and towards the chicane. There's dicing. There's lots going on in the background as well. Wooten makes up a position. Chris Island made up a position. And Brad Wooten made up a couple, in fact. So he snuck through there very, very well. But Jack Mara leads us out in front. And we start to head up through this second little chicane now. Jack Mara in control.
They've been very, very considerate in those first couple of corners, giving each other a bit of room, and got a nice start. They've all got a good start. They've all got a good beginning to their race. So that makes it good for us. I don't want to see cars upside down in turn 1.
Yeah, and the top, 40 drivers got through there very well. I'm just watching Roberts. He looks like he wants to get out in front.
He's really putting some pressure onto Mara here. He's trying to break him in those first couple of corners. Now looks like Philip Worley there ran very, very wide, and he's probably got a slowdown, which he has, which has dropped him back to about 5th place. So Bowden scooted through. Oh, that's getting a bit rough and ready in the chicanes, but they gave each other room. They got away with it. So good to see.
Banks and Bowden got together. We've got a crash further back in the field. Cars around. Chris Barnes, I think, is one of them. He's in the fence with parts missing. The tanked SRT car. Adam Simpson was the other one. A cloud of smoke down there as well.
No, it looks like they're all moving, so I don't think we're going to get a safety car. They're going to limp them back to the pit lane and do a quick repair, join the back of the field, and look for the next look for a safety car in the future to put them back on the lead lap.
Well, look at this battle for the lead. 3 wide as we go down the straight. Dylan O'Shea's in there as well. Look out.
Yeah, Dylan did a big dive up in there in the first corner, trying to go too wide through here. Oh, a little bump. Jack Marra off the road. Has he managed to keep it off the fence? No, he hasn't. The car's very, very bent.
Oh, dear.
Left-hand front. Oh, that's the championship leader there in the fence.
And made contact with the previous champion, so...
Yep.
Or the reigning champion.
It wasn't anybody's fault, it was just a little touch. Now... He's sitting there going, I want to tow, I want to tow, I want to tow, because he can't. He can't limp that back. We've got
another crash here. 3 or 4 cars involved. This could be our first caution for gold. Car 3 can tow, so Mara's back in the pits. He's been allowed to tow there.
And look, they've all moved. They've all got the car moving. So I reckon that we've got away with that again.
That's incredible. So that little bit of contact, let's see if we can pick up a quick replay. This was the contact between Roberts and Mara. So just going in together. What happens here? Oh, slightest
there's a little bit of neck code in there as well. That's very disappointing.
Jack was pretty calm on the radio, but he knows that, you know, he'll be looking at the championship and thinking, right, where's, first of all, Bailey Evans, who's P2 in the championship, Reese McGetts, where are they sitting tonight? Well, I can tell you they're not at the top. Yeah.
No, where is Bailey Evans at the moment? Would be sitting down in at 17th place or something, 36th place.
Yeah, and Reese has just gone off the track, comes back on again. And Phil Worley, I think, paying for another slowdown. He's just dropping back 5-6 positions again in this mid-pack.
Oh, I mean, you can't afford those slowdowns. It's so easy to pick up here. You run wide, you get a slow down. You've got the iRacing tells you have to, give back 2 seconds, and you just got to slow down, pull off line, slow down, do it, and everyone just sails past you. So it's very harsh, but that's the way it is, and the same slowdowns are there for everyone.
No, crazy. So Dylan O'Shea out in front, being hounded here by Ben Roberts, but leading this race. Has he just had to... No, I thought he had to give up some time as well then, but the top 3 with Rob Bowden's in there again.
I think Ben's out of the series really because he had to miss a couple of rounds with some issues. But so he's really out of the series. Ben's got nothing to lose. He's just going to win the race. I just want to win the race. That's all Ben's caring about at the moment, and he's going to take that fight right to Dylan O'Shea, and we could be on for some fireworks up the front here. Rob Bowden hanging around at the back, going, you boys, you get it on, boys. I'm going to take... I'll just take advantage of it. We've got a couple more off the road there, and Brad Wooten.
And James Glasspool, the fastest car out there at the moment, sitting in 15th place as Lockie Taylor's now off the track and in the gravel. So
it's all got a bit hectic here for a minute or two, hasn't it, Luke?
We're lap 4, and so the tyres are up to 10, but they're sliding around.
And look, right back through the field, and you can see they're fighting everywhere. Here we are, side by side. Again, millimetres in it. Now Ben's gone wide, and he's going to try and over and under and get a better run up the hill here. So he is pushing every which way. He's not giving Dylan O'Shea a moment of relaxation. Side by side again.
Oh, contact.
Oh, and he's gone. He saved it. Good save. Yeah, he's just reporting it. I don't think there was anything really wrong with that. but they did touch. You know, that's what happens when you get side by side up a hill fighting for the lead, isn't it? Occasionally.
We'll have a quick look. We might get a better angle here. Might get the
Very tiny touch.
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing in it at all. Bowden goes through, lucky to avoid contact as well. Mazoka's off, so he's doing a pirouette down there trying to get back into the race, but losing a mountain of positions whilst doing so.
That dreaded last chicane, I personally really dislike that on this circuit. It sort of ruins the flow of the circuit for me, that chicane. Oh, that's a dangerous rejoin, but he's managed to pull it off. But it is an awful chicane, big, high curves, not very nice for a Formula 3 car. I had the Formula 4 out ran here the other day and I didn't like it either.
Is that a new addition that was added after Ed and Senna's death, or is that always on the original circuit? I'm just trying to remember back. I think it was always there.
Well, the original circuit didn't have any chicanes at all. It was almost flat and top the whole way around. But because the original circuit didn't have this this left-right section here either.
Yep.
It came down and just ran down to, and I can't think what this left-hander's called, and then from there went up over the top. And the Aqua Minerale chicane wasn't there. It was more of a double right-hander. The chicane at the top of the hill wasn't there. It was just a fast sweep left all the way down to those last two corners. So it was very, very, very fast. And they brought in a couple of chicanes. And then as a result of Ed and Senna's death was they brought in that first chicane where we saw Jack Marrick glance the fence. That chicane was brought in after Ed and Senna. The one at some of the other things were brought in as well, because there are a few accidents running down to that very fast left-hander. There's a few bad accidents there down into turn, what was the original turn 2?
Yeah, well, Gerhard Berger being one of them.
Yeah, Gerhard Berger had that big flaming incident and the big sweeping left-hander that where Senna was killed. I remember seeing that and thinking he wasn't going to get out of that, and he managed to step out of that car after being in flames for so long. Quite amazing.
So the fastest driver out there on the racetrack, Ben Roberts, does another fastest lap. So he's got driving with a bit of anger there, probably. Maybe to himself, maybe at the net code, but trying to get himself back up now into the top 5. He's chasing down Magetz and Island.
Yeah, he wants to set the record straight, I would think. So I'm really impressed with Lillis tonight too. He's sitting right there behind Ben, 7th place. That's a really good run from him this evening.
Fastlane Esports driver.
Yeah.
Got a nice
Good little run of 4 there. Margetts, Island, Roberts and Lillis. Margetts and Island being teammates, I think. And look, this pack racing again. It's really, really good to see.
A few drivers have jumped in the pits early as well. One of them being Damien Cairns, who's all the way back in 34th place, but did take his stop early.
Yeah, he had a poor qualifying. I don't know what his issue was. Sometimes it's hard to get a clear lap in here, but he had a bit of a poor qualifying, so he's probably gone, okay, I can't race him, I'm in the pack. What I'll do is go and take a pit stop, try and find a bit of clean air, get some quick laps in, and see if I can pass him effectively in the pit lane rather than on the road.
That's a good strategy. We've got Craig Anspach causing an incident, 10-second penalty for him.
We're watching Brad Wooten here at the moment. I love his profile pic. I hope he doesn't look like that in reality. But if he does, we need to get him some sponsorship by Schick, I think. But yeah, he's having a good run. Just making a pass there.
Scotty as well, W Area 51 Sim Racing, back in 33rd place and just gone off the road. So
it's a little wide.
Bit of on-camera pressure maybe.
Getting closer to the crowd so you can get another wave in. And there's a big deep exhale.
Well, you can see Damien Cairns chasing him down very closely now.
Yeah. Damien's become very quick in this F3 car. He took a while to come to grips with it after doing a lot of V8 racing, but he's really got a hold of it now, and he looks quite at home in that F3 car now.
Christine Cairns saying, I want to give Damien Cairns a massive shout out and have a fun race tonight. He's doing that. He's set himself a target. lapping up. Oh, Dylan O'Shea.
That's the leader of the race.
Okay, so what's that to do with? That's on lap 4. We'll see if we can find...
Not leaving enough room on lap 4. Now, whether that was the incident or not, I don't know.
Was that the incident with Roberts?
I don't know. It was not leaving enough room on lap 4.
Well, this is lap 4, and that's...
Oh, I really can't tell from that because you've got to be head on or on chase view where you can see where the car's moving across the road or not. That's better. That's better. Well, he has come across, but they haven't touched. There's a load of net code in there.
So 10-second penalty. Will that be served post or during the race?
Probably post. It'll be just added to his race time at the end. But he's got the right to go back. If he doesn't agree with that, he can go back in here and make a
Protest?
yeah, not a protest. It's I can't think what it's called off the top of my head. An appeal. Make an appeal and say, yeah, I disagree with that. This is, and state his case, and race control will go back and re-look at that event and take into consideration his comments. So it's not all over if you get a 10-second penalty there like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's enough net code in that for, if it is that incident, there's enough net code in there. Just certainly I would put in an appeal.
Yep, I agree. Up the hill they go again. Trent Gosling in chase here. Luke Hayden in front. And Stephen Consider says looks harsh on O'Shea. That's his take on the incident there. And
yeah, I didn't really see Dylan do a lot wrong, but that may not be the incident.
I'm wondering if there was something a little bit further than that too. No, I think that's the only time Ben went off the track. So I think I have got the right incident there. That was the only incident on lap 4 where he's gone off the circuit.
That's right. Well, they'll sort it out.
Meanwhile, battle for P6 in fact is Lillis now getting past Chris Island for up another spot.
And Chris Island was going very, very quickly in qualifying in the early parts of qualifying there, because when I jumped in, Chris Island was sitting on the top of the sheet for qualifying. So Chris is a pretty quick steerer, certainly a top 10 all day long, and he's putting a pile of pressure onto Harrison here. They'll both be enjoying this. This is what, and when you have a great race like this, and you've got somebody really putting the pressure on you, if you can hold that to the finish, you walk away with the biggest green.
Oh, car off the circuit. I think someone's deep in the fence there as well. It's Hayden. They were racing together a minute ago. Now they're both off the track.
And missing his whole right hand.
I think it's about to fall off actually.
Yeah. So it sounds like Luke there's just made a report to race control on that incident, so they'll go back and review that one as well.
I love how the pieces fall off the car and then disappear. That's what we need in the real world.
Yes. That's he'll be certainly getting a slowdown there. Yeah.
3, corner 1.
So Phil Worley's got an incident, a 5-second penalty there for an incident in turn 1 as well.
So Dylan O'Shea, I mean, he's just got to now try and build a 10-second lead. That's probably his #1 goal for the race tonight.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty hard to do. What he's going to do is try and pull out the best he can and see how he goes. But at the end of the day, really, his fate relies on an appeal for that protest, on an appeal for that penalty.
Yep. We'll just look back further to Roberts back into 4th now, so he's gone all right.
And Banks up to 2nd. Now that's a really good race. Where did Joseph Banks start? Luke, I haven't got the numbers. How many are?
Banks he's up 3 spots, so P5 up to 2nd place now.
Yeah, so he's having a good little run there. Yeah, under pressure from Bowden, so somehow he's managed to get past Rob Bowden, because we did see Rob was there, sitting there in 3rd, so he's obviously got up and gained that position. So yeah, good little run.
Here's a replay. This is the pass of Banks on Bowden, and it was down at the end of the pit straight, so Banks got a good slipstream into that toe, and then here we go. He'll just send it, I think, inside or outside. He goes the outside, and that's how he made the move.
Wow.
Shows the advantage of the toe, doesn't it? Look how much speed he carried past him.
And I think Rob lifted off and didn't contest the first corner. Lifted off and said, "I'll let you have that little battle because I want to win the war."
Yep.
So I'm guessing that Rob may be working on a fuel strategy or running to a fuel number or something in it. If he's doing that, sometimes it's better to let someone by than actually slow yourself down by battling them. And we've got Phil Worley. He's in the pit lane, so Phil Worley has gone in for a refuel.
As we look at Anspatch, Mazzocca's behind him. You've got Lockie Taylor just in front. And contact. That was who was that going around? That was Scotty Barton, unfortunately. Yeah. Bartain, sorry, yep.
I don't know whether it's Bartain. Barton.
Bartajan. So 32 minutes to go. More battles going on. We haven't seen a safety car yet, have we? So we've gone pretty cleanly through the first portion of this race. First portion.
Yeah. Don't mention those two words, safety car.
First portion. So, quick shout out to the sponsors, as we like to do. There's this code word for tonight, by the way. It's an easy one. MERSEY, MERSEY. And tonight's the last time you can enter. So we've got all the names building up there. Steve Cassidis just put his in. Gary's in there as well. Chris has gone in. Christine, Sher, and others putting their names in this week. Get them in there because next week we draw the prize. You can't enter next week. So if you want to win the $100 US prize from the VRS, you need to get your name in there tonight as Bowden goes back ahead now, Banks.
Yeah, they're having a great little race here, aren't they? They're pacing each other. They're not really upsetting each other's lines too much. So they're doing good lap times and keeping it neat. And using the toe, and when somebody toes by, they're not contesting it. They're letting them by and slip in behind. These guys are working together. It's they're not in the same team, but they're working together to stay in contact with the leaders. So that's pretty smart running by them.
Yeah. Driving good speed. I'm just seeing O'Shea as well. He's not really, I think you said earlier, it's going to be hard for him to build that 10-second lead. He's lapping, the last lap around was a tenth slower than the guys behind.
Yep. He's only got a lead of 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds. So, but if you look at it, add 10 seconds, he's back in 8th. Or he'd be 7th, I think. At the moment, if you added 10 seconds to his time.
Yep.
His all black car.
Yeah, it's just got a white 19 on there, that's all. Trying to find some battles. It's sort of gone into this mid-phase of the race now. We're 20 minutes in, 30 minutes to go. There's Marcus Knitska, Pace Syndicate driver. Always stands out, this livery. Looks great, the 55.
Yeah. He's got Dawson all over the back of him.
He does, in the Tim Tam Vegemite car. We've got some homegrown honey tonight. I tell you what, I've forgotten how good homegrown honey tastes compared to supermarket honey.
Wow.
Oh, Roberts off. Roberts is off the track.
Off the road. Mistakes. You've got to get rid of them.
It's almost like he's out of rhythm at the moment, Benny, isn't it?
I think he is a little bit because he's gone through a bit of a tough time. He had a couple of personal things, but he had a bit of an issue with a medical issue with his leg, and it's affected his sim racing. He had to take a couple of weeks off, and it's amazing how you lose your rhythm with that. And I think it's just a bit. He did need a bit of a break, and
Yep.
I think next series he'll come back and he'll be right on top as always.
I think so. And with the Formula Ford series, who are they opening that to? Is that competitors, the Formula Ford, or who are they opening up?
Everyone. And I've got the entry list here already, and I can see there's already the best part of 25 entries, and I haven't even opened yet. So it's been open about an hour. So that's pretty good. But it's open to anyone. So anyone that wants to have a go. There will be. We expect some of the real world races will be there, and some both national, local, state. Historic. You'll see a range of Formula Ford, real-world Formula Ford competitors. I think you'll see a few people just like the car, because everyone says at the moment the common comment that I hear all the time is the Formula Ford really is the class of all the cars on iRacing at the moment. Right. It's the latest thing, but it's just got really good physics. It's really good to drive, and it's just fun. You can slide the thing round, and you can overstep the mark, get it sideways, and save it, and the racing is wild. We went out with a few mates to Monza, and 5 of us down the main straight, and everybody towing everybody, and it's just like, you think Monza would be boring, the Formula Ford, not when you got a pile of them.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So I think the slipstream's a lot stronger than these F3 cars. Yep. And the other thing is also the collision model seems to be better. So you can have a bit of a bang of wheels and a bump of wheels, and you don't go flying off into the scenery. It's a bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Now, there's some real pressure being put on here by Will Ryan. So Will's trying to unsettle Dawson there, who before we saw Dawson was putting the pressure onto Konecka. Now Konecka's got past Sam Morton in front, got another place. Dawson's dropped back a bit. Now he's under pressure from Will Ryan, and Will's looking really good here. I reckon he can do this.
Yeah, he's driving well. And
there we go. That's an opportunity, and Will's going to sail on by.
Is he?
Is he? Come on, he's going to sail on by, I think. I think he can do this.
A lot of mistakes like that come from the pressure, being applied from behind. And no.
Yep. So Caleb probably should have said, I've made a mistake back in the chicane. I've dropped that. Let him go. I'll drop in behind, and I'll try and tow him up the front straight, rather than he got pinched a bit there. And he did the right thing and didn't hit Will Ryan, but Will gave him a bit of room, but unfortunately got a bit pinched, got on the brakes, had to pull the car a bit tight, and around it went.
Yeah. Here's your race leader. We don't forget about him. He's only 3 seconds out in front now, Dylan O'Shea. Rob Bowden, P2. The fastest driver is still Benjamin Roberts as far as lap time, ultimate pace, and that lap time is about 0.6 quicker than anyone else at the moment. That happened straight after that incident, so obviously pushed a little bit harder. How hard can you push the tyres before you start to pay slightly, Dave, in this sort of scenario?
The F3 is pretty light on the tyres, but they run a lot of downforce, and when they're driving them hard and start sliding them around, the tyres tend to overheat. So if you keep the car straight, the tyres last longer. If you can start getting out of shape, bouncing over curbs, having a bit of a slide here and there, soon you get a bit too much temperature and they'll start to lose a little bit of grip. But in general, these guys have been driving them long enough. They know how to make the tyres last the whole race, and the time you lose getting new tyres and coming out on cold tyres and spending 2.5 laps to get them up to temperature, you lose more time than you gain.
Yeah.
So, most of them are not changing tyres.
And it's an interesting comment too. A lot of these drivers have been driving them for many seasons now. They know how they work. Question from Brand saying Worley took a pit stop. Now I'll have a quick look down the pit count. We might even put up on the board for you, but you'll see who has made their stops and who hasn't. So the pit stop count at the moment, the first driver that has stopped is Worley, down in 16th place. Evans has also stopped in 18th. Evans, don't forget, running P2 in the championship, so he's stopped. He'll be looking to progress at the back end of this race. Other than that, we're sort of holding stations now. So there's your gains. 14 spots for Glasspool's been a good performance. 15 for Mabry. 20 for Ben Brazier as well. He's done a great job up into the top 15. Kaylin Arthur back in 26, just chipping away, 10 spots up. But this man out in front, up 3, Dylan O'Shea, leading by 4 seconds with a 10-second time penalty hanging over his head.
That means he would be up to
In the fence.
Chris Island. So he would be up at the moment. 1, 2, 3. So Dylan O'Shea would be up into 6th place at the moment if you added his 10-second penalty.
Okay.
So, yeah.
He bounced off the wall there. All the bits went off and they came back again. It looks like he's been able to continue. Chris Island.
The real battle for the win here is between Bowden and Banks, isn't it? You know, they're all over each other.
Yeah, they're holding station again. They swapped places about 3-4 laps in a row. Now they're holding station. Bowden seems to just be, whether or not it's a fuel-saving strategy here from Banks, but Bowden's been in front for the last couple of laps.
Because these guys are actually the corrected leaders of the race, because Dylan's got that penalty, so he's 6 seconds behind these guys effectively. So this is the battle for the lead you're looking at here, and it's a ding dong.
So yeah, you're right. Once you take O'Shea out of the equation, and interesting enough, behind Banks it's another 4-second gap. So Banks doesn't really need to look in his mirrors or look at the relative. He just needs to concentrate on forward. Probably save fuel and maybe save enough fuel to be able to take a shorter pit stop and jump him in the pits.
I think the big thing is these guys have to need to be smart, not upset each other. If they start fighting each other, next thing you know, Roberts will be in the fight as well. They need to keep it cool, keep the pace up, not interfere with each other, run smooth, and keep the gap to Ben, and then have their ding dong fight for the last 3 or 4 laps and see who can make it to the flag first.
Yeah. Phil Sanders back here for Drop Air Motorsport, 27th place, and Alex caught ahead of him. Alex was on the radio a minute ago, had some sort of incident, we didn't catch it.
Yeah, Alex has had a bit of a quieter night tonight. Usually he's probably a little further up in the years. But look, hopefully he's having a clean run and enjoying himself at least.
Back with Lewis now as well, P5.
So Little's under pressure from Margette's here. There's not a lot of gap in there.
Margette's third in the championship too on 862 points. So he's about 80 points behind Bailey Evans, P2 in the championship. Don't forget Jack Marrett out of this race, although he's still running. He's 2 laps down, I think, Jack Marrett. It's good that he didn't just give up, isn't it? He's still out there running around.
And I think Bailey Evans is about 14th at the moment after that issue early on.
But Evans has stopped, so remember that. He's actually just ahead of Mara on the race, but there's Evans. Can run to the end of this race, and we haven't seen the safety cars we saw in the first silver race tonight. It's been a clean running, and that means they will need to stop. They will need to take fuel, and that could change the outcome of the race.
Yeah, and the pit lanes, look, it's a reasonable pit lane. It's an easy entry, easy exit. It's not too long, so there's not too much penalty from that pit lane.
And Bailey, 40 seconds off the lead, so you're saying that's not a huge... I mean, he's not going to lose that 40 seconds. He's not going to make up that 40 seconds, sorry.
No, he's not going to make up that 40 seconds. I'm not quite sure what the transition time is here for a pit stop, but I'm going to guess it's probably 28 or something, 28 seconds. That's my guess.
Yep.
There's somebody just having a tow, I can hear.
Might have been Lockie Taylor. Oh, big crash. Roberts and Taylor. That was Roberts, I'm sure, going across the top of him there.
Yep, that looked like that. Yep, Ben Roberts flying through the air there. Let's go back and have a look at that.
Whoa.
Oh. I think Ben was probably a bit over exuberant there with his pass, a bit of a dive. Yeah.
I tell you what, there's some marks down in the gravel trap there, isn't there, from cars going off tonight?
Yeah.
So back live, Roberts still gone from bad to worse. Here's your race leader, Dylan O'Shea, catching some lap traffic here. It's one of the fishy cars.
He wasn't leaving a lot of distance in there on a lap car.
Got a car limping as well, so I think that's Scott No, I heard someone saying they're limping. I'm not sure who it is. Marcus Knizka's had a crash, and Jared Steen also had a crash on that lap too. So a couple of cars just.
And now we've got O'Shea, Banks,
Oh, that was close.
Bowden, Lillis, Margotts, Roberts, Fitt, Glasspool, Mort, and Ryan. Who's the leading pit stopper?
That would be Mr. Worley. Philip Worley back in 12th place.
Okay, so he's 36 seconds down, and he's the first guy to have made a pit stop. The thing is, the guy stopping later will need to take on less fuel, so they'll do a shorter stop as well.
Yeah.
So at the moment, O'Shea's sitting there nice. He's got his 4.5 second gap, but he's got a 10-second penalty hanging over his head. So effectively, we've got Josh Banks in the lead, Rob Bowden now sitting behind him. They've swapped positions once again. They've got a battle here with Scarf Barthane in the middle of it, and looks like he's got Cooper on his tail, the bright blue car.
Yeah, the
Brian
tanked
Cooper
SRT.
there. Yeah, Brian Cooper there, teammate to Rob Bowden, putting a bit of pressure on.
A few people have been saying a safety car right now would be great, and they reckon Jack Marrow would clean the field up. Well, he's a few laps down, that's the problem.
Yeah, so I don't think Jack's on the lead lap, is he?
No, he's a couple down. And we also had a question there, what's the pit window from Blinky on Twitch? So, surely they must be getting pretty low on fuel, these leaders.
We've got 17 minutes left. I would think we've got somewhere in the next probably 4 minutes where they're really going to have to go to the pit lane. What would be my guess?
Dylan's got that 5.1 second lead now, so rattles off another 1 minute 36.4. And Marcus Knizka's off the circuit again, backwards. And I got the feeling we've got a safety car brewing sometime soon.
Can you just stop with the safety car talk?
Oh, Glasspool's up another spot too. James is on a great run tonight. 16 spots now up into the top 6. What a great drive.
I watched all the F2 and F3 races on the weekend. All I saw was a safety car. I was really looking forward to a night without it.
It was the same with the V8 Super Taxis. It was a lot of yellow.
Yeah. Sort of a very interesting little video with Brad Jones. And Brad going through why the Mustangs were bursting into flames and what they think the theory of that was quite interesting.
Divulge?
Brad Knight. Yeah, no, just saying it's all to do with the overflow from the oil tank overflows, and apparently they're getting a bit of fuel into the oil, and it's creating a bit of So it was interesting. But Brad and I go back a long way. Brad Jones and I used to race motocross together when we were about 13. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've always liked Brad Jones. I think he's whilst it's a
Brad, myself, Neil Crompton, we used to all race motocross together as teenagers at 12 and 14 in juniors. Yeah.
Hey, the leaders are in the pits too. So
yep.
O'Shea's in, Banks, Bowden, Lillis in as well. Magetz is going to stay out, so he's obviously got a big fuel tank on that thing. He'll go to the lead of the race.
Or he's been doing a little bit of fuel saving. But I don't... Oh, that's Jared Steen off the road. That's the third of the tanked SRT cars. Now, here's what's going to happen in the pit lane. Is anybody going to jump anybody?
So Roberts has stopped with that damage in a couple of incidents. O'Shea comes back out, P3, effectively still leading the race. And the gap to Banks, importantly, 6.5. So he's actually gained slightly in the pit stop there, Dylan O'Shea.
Did Sam Mort stop or not?
Not yet. So Mort has yet to stop running P4. What do you think of the colour of these wheels?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
To me, it just ruins what is a beautiful looking race car.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind to see a nice set of gold wheels on that or something or other, I think.
Maybe Sam will listen to this back and next week he'll come back with some gold wheels for the final gold race.
A set of gold wheels to go with that black and red scheme, I think it'd be rather smart.
Yep.
So is Reese going to come in the pits this time round, we think?
Mabry's off. Oh, high speed off too. Far out. Rejoins, okay. Cuts about half the track out, but
He's just going for fastest lap.
Cleaning the tyres up there. Yep. Fastest lap like that NASCAR driver that went around the fence to make up about 20 spots.
That was phenomenal, wasn't it?
I loved it.
All credit to him, though. I thought that was fantastic. Yeah, so look, Reese is in the pits this time, so he's just gained that extra lap, but it's not going to make a lot of difference.
Yeah, Glasspill's in as well, and here comes Dylan O'Shea to retake the lead of the race. And Sanders off the track. What's he doing?
Is that car all straight? Looks like the front.
Oh,
tyre.
big crash,
Oh.
big crash. That's Ben. That thing is a canoe.
Ben Brazier is in the fence. It's a canoe. It hasn't got anything on it. Are we getting a safety car? I think.
If that's not an unsafe place, what is?
Oh, I don't know.
So
I'm watching.
Flurry of
Is it going to be a safety car?
pit
What do you think?
stops. O'Shea out in front. I'm going yes.
It's going to be a no. I'm going to go a no.
You can both play from there.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay,
Oh,
you
I
win.
win.
You win.
I win. Beers are on you.
O'Shea stays out in front, and for him, he doesn't want a safety car because any chance of him knocking that 10-second win out, you know.
Looking at those times there, he's got himself up onto
Third,
the podium.
yeah, third with the 10-second penalty, and like you said, he can protest that and or put an appeal out and try and get that lifted off him. But who knows? With another 12 and a half minutes to go, he might still be able to sneak out to that 10-second gap, especially if Banks makes a mistake or two. Bowden's 7.7 back, so Bowden's and dropping back as well.
So Banks has got himself a little 1.5 second gap, so he's out of DRS range, we'd say. But he's got that little 1.5 second gap there over Rob Bowden. So he's managed to pull away during that pit stop phase. And Philip Worley there sees 3.5 seconds back. He's not really going to pull that on Bowden. Lillis is there, a couple of seconds back from that. Then you got about a half a second to Roberts. So probably the battle between Lillis and Roberts is the closest one on the road at the moment.
Quite spread out. I'm not used to this in F3A. It is quite spread out across the top 20.
There's a couple of close ones, like between Morton and Ryan. There's 7/10 of a second between them. That's not a big gap, but somebody there hiding in the grass. He's doing a motor. Whoop! I think he should go get a lawnmower sponsor. You know, Rover Mowers or something.
Well, 11 minutes to go here, and a big thanks for everyone that's joined us tonight. Here it is. They were all thinking it was safety car. I was too, but no safety cars. Said Branch and a few others on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Race Stars TV, which is RSTVAU on YouTube. If you can subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Helps us out. Plenty of big things coming up, including, as we announced earlier, a Formula Ford Championship, which hopefully we'll be hosting on. It'll be incredible.
Official National Formula Ford E-Series, all under the banner of Formula Ford Australia. So they are involved in the promotion, the running of it, and integrating it in with the Real World Series. So that's really exciting.
Exciting it is, just like this battle between Benjamin Roberts and Harrison Lillis. Now Lillis, he's driven really well tonight. You want to try and hang on to this top 5 if you can. Roberts is saving fuel. You can hear that he's dipped the clutch for the last couple of 100 metres into the braking zone there. So has he cut it tight on fuel? Maybe.
Possibly, and he's possibly betting on a safety car.
Well, you would too, though. That's the thing. This series, you'd bet on 1, maybe 2 every race. This time we haven't seen them. And Imola as well. Imola's a track where I can't remember the last time I came here and didn't have a couple of safety cars.
Yep. Now he's trying to put a move on here, but he's showing a bit of patience. He's trying to put a move on Lillis in front. Lillis has driven really well tonight. There's nothing's phased him. He's kept his head, kept his cool, given up places when he had to, made some good passes when he needed to. So great drive there from Lillis tonight.
Now the big question is, Dave, will you be racing in the Formula Ford E-Series?
No, I won't. I'm going to, mate, it's my baby to make that work. Because I'm involved with Formula Ford Australia to a degree.
Yep.
And I really want to see it work. So I've got a feeling I sort of think that sim racing has taken over as the new grassroots of motorsport. And I think what's probably done more harm to than any other series is karting.
Yeah.
Because most people used to go, oh, I want to do a bit of motor racing, I'll get a go-kart. And unfortunately now go-karts become really quite expensive. If you want to be professional and really have a go at it, mate, a Formula Ford is not a lot more money to run than a go-kart. But I think, people are now going, I'm going to get onto sim racing, and I can do really well out of sim racing. Bit of international, I can do some international races. In some cases they're making money out of it. They really are. And there's an opportunity there, and out of that comes an opportunity. And you've seen in a place like Jean Martin won the Gran Turismo series and now drives for Nissan in the World GT series and whatever. And there's opportunities. So I think it's become the new grassroots of motorsport. And this is what we've been talking about with Formula Ford. And Formula Ford's a fantastic learning formula. I think the guys who've come straight out of karting and gone to F4 and gone on to wings, they've missed an important step in their career, and that is to learn how to drive a car without any aero. And you learn Robert's off the road again. So you learn what the mechanical elements, what the shock absorbers, the springs, the roll bars, how to balance a car with the mechanical elements of it. That's what you learn in the Formula Ford. Plus you learn really close racing because you don't have aero. You can get right up under the back of somebody. You're banging wheels, you're interlocked wheels, and you learn how to really race and racecraft, and you learn slipstreaming and how to make it really work. And there's so much to learn in the Formula Ford, and that goes right through to when they get to F1, and that's what they're saying now is that it's been missing. And I think there's an opportunity for Formula Ford to come back and be an important part in people's future careers. And we're seeing it doing the same thing in sim racing. Is that little car, I took the car out at the Formula Ford out at Monza, as I said, and I got back into one of the higher powered cars, and I was half a second quicker because I'd learnt so much back driving the Formula Ford just on how to run it through some of those chicanes, how to not upset the exit and make sure you get the exit. You can take that back and apply it when you drive an FR 3.5 and you see the gain. It's the best car to learn how to drive.
I like the point about how to set up a car as well, because it's not just how to set up a car, it's how to explain to your engineer when you do get to the higher formulas how they need to set up the car. You understand what needs to be done.
And the trouble is, if you don't go through that, you get to an F4 and you go, oh, it's understeering, can I have some more front wing? Oh, it's oversteering, can I have some more rear wing? Oh, it's slow in a straight line, can you take some rear wing off? That's all they do, it's wing, wing, wing.
Yeah.
But if you can run the low wing and get the grip out of the mechanicals of the car, then suddenly you got straight line speed and you got quarter grip and you're pulling away in the front. I reckon that they talk a lot about this new Red Bull and how good it is. I'm not convinced it's all aero. I think there's a lot in that that's mechanical, and they're very clever on the mechanical side of the car and gaining grip without aero, because mechanical grip comes free of charge. It doesn't come with an aero deficit.
That's right. Yeah. Nice. Some very wise words. That's why it's an absolute pleasure having you here, mate. It's it's Robert's pushed his way through.
He tried the inside this time. He wasn't going the outside again.
Oh, he's into 12 plays. He's had a wretched night tonight. But Dylan O'Shea, 5.5 seconds. That magical number 10 is not really going in the right direction. Josh Banks is staying in touch. Banks was 6/10 quicker on the previous lap too, so he's doing enough.
And Josh is really pulling away from Rob. So, Rob's done a really great job tonight, but he hasn't quite had the pace to take it to Josh. Josh has run a really, really nice race.
And by the way, folks, if you want to get involved with this series, FRG, who put on this F3A series, you got to be in it, and it is the premium series. I'm not just saying that because Dave's in the room. I've got to go and look up this booklet and show you what Formula Ford is, what these boys have produced for Formula 4, because I only had a chance. I probably flicked through it for about a minute or two prior to the broadcast, but I was blown away. I don't know. I mean, who does all this artwork? Tell us, give us a wrap on who puts all this together, because, like I said, I was just lost for words when I saw how pro this was.
Well, we got someone in the back room who doesn't.
I think yours truly might have a bit to do with it.
Maybe.
He does. Dave, take a bit of credit, mate. It's great. I'm going to quickly show it, if that's all right with your permission. We'll see if we can just get it zoomed down a little bit to fit on the page. Whoop, no. Anyway, this is the booklet that you guys have produced. I'm just going to make it smaller. I don't think I can. I'll just flick through the pages. Even the way it turns the page, it's like, how pro is this? It's so cool. There's all the tracks. So can I talk about the tracks a little bit? Where you're going?
Yeah. So we've got some of the races aligned with real rounds. So you've got the opening round at Winton is the week. It's on the Tuesday before the real Formula Ford round on the Winton the following weekend. It's on the Saturday, Sunday. So hopefully we might even get some of the real guys there on the week before, having a bit of a practice run in the sim world before they go out and race it in the real world. So we've got that 2 or 3 times. Happens with Sandown and it happens with Phillip Island as well. So and then we've got some of the European tracks, and it finishes up the year with Brands Hatch and Silverstone 2 weeks apart, which is time to go with the Formula Ford Festival and the Walter Hayes Trophy, which is the 2 huge events in the UK for Formula Ford, which is the Formula Ford World Cup. And if we've got enough support, and it's looking that way already, but if we've got enough support, we might do those as special events and do a bit of a different format with the knockout format and semi-finals and finals as they do in the real world. So we'll wait and see. We're going to let the thing evolve a little bit and see how we go with support, and it's looking really good so far. I'm expecting to see I'm thinking 150 plus people trying to qualify each week for what at the moment is 80 spots. If we get too many more, we might open that up to the top 100 and run 50 in each event. So we'll wait and see. But each round will have a 15-minute sprint race and then a 30-minute feature race, and you get about 32 minutes out of a tank of fuel at Monza in a Formula Ford. So you've got to be careful if you just hoe it all the time. You may find yourself in a bit of trouble on fuel at the end. But there's no pit stops. Formula Fords don't do pit stops.
Yeah.
So
No, it's great, isn't it? As we watch 5.1 seconds the gap between O'Shea and Banks. Banks well out of the picture here, and also then Rob Bowden. 3 seconds, still holding on to P3. At this stage, it would be P2 if that enforcement of the penalty for O'Shea remains in place. 8 seconds off the pace, Bowden to be third, but he's driven well again. Rob, I think he's probably just knuckled in now and said, right, this is the best I can do. Third place tonight it'll be, or second, with that penalty.
Yep. He's got to keep his foot in it because he's only got 1.9 second lead over Dylan effectively. But what we're moving to in particular is, rather than having this where you've got an 8 or 10 round series that runs every week after week after week after week, you'll find that we'll run 3 or 4 series, and they'll run sort of 1 round a month, each one. So you'll be able to drive in different cars and different things, and there'll be some announcements on the others. F3 probably be one of those. So we'll revamp the F3 series rather than being a 10-week back-to-back, but maybe over the course of the season. And that'll come back probably next season now. So it'll come back for 2024.
Yep.
And we've got a couple of other things to add to Formula Ford for the rest of the year, which is really exciting.
No, that's great. Looking forward to it. So Dylan O'Shea is going to get the white flag 1 to go as he crosses the line now. So looking pretty comfortable. But I notice he's maybe in a bit of fuel trouble here. The gap's come down by a second again on that lap. So it's down to 4.6. He's just managing this probably to the end of the race. But he would know from race control that he's got that 10-second penalty hanging over his head. That now puts him back into 4th.
Yeah, because that is it. He's now got Worley has got in front of him as well on corrected time. I think he's got time over Lillis, but that's effectively dropped him off the podium.
Well, he's losing even more time here. I'm just having a quick look at the pit stop times. So the stationary time in the lane and it was on lap 21 for him. 5 seconds, 5.2 for Banks, 4.7, so a short stop for Bowden. But he has been sort of heading around saving fuel.
Lillis had a quick stop there as well. 4.7.
So it's now 9.4 the gap and 3.8 and dropping incredibly quick from O'Shea to Banks. So is there one little twist left in this race tonight? It's now 3.2 and dropping.
Yeah, and we can see there whoever is behind him is hauling him in, and he's a lap down. So
just listening on board to hear if there's any spluttering going on here. Now 2.8 seconds and dropping. This sounds pretty good. I think he's probably managing it. He'd have a fuel calculator up. He'd know what his window is and where he'd run out. And I think he'll just get it to the line here. So to take the checker flag. He's going to weave it down the line. He's got no problems. It's going to be a win tonight for Dylan O'Shea, who takes the victory. 1.9 seconds clear as the flag drops of Josh Banks. A great drive. And Rob Bowden will take third as well. Pretty happy with that, Rob.
Yeah, so, but who will we see on the podium?
Will Race Control enforce that straight away? Because Worley ended up finishing within 6.8 seconds of your race leader, so easily
So
on the...
that would be, on corrected time as it stands at the moment, would be Banks, Bowden and Worley on the podium.
Yep. Here's Robert crossing the line now to finish what will be a race for him to forget, I think.
Yep. Not one of Ben's finest hours, but that's okay. He's given some great racing over the seasons, and everyone's allowed to have a bad night. I know I've had plenty.
Yep. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, RSTV AU. Give us a subscribe if you're watching now. Thanks for everyone that's joined us tonight. We'll have a chat shortly with the top three as we see Dylan O'Shea doing a bit of drifting here in celebration of his win. And we'll get him across for a chat shortly. But yeah, we do appreciate you tuning in, watching, and subscribe so you get to see some new series cranking off very, very soon, including Formula Ford. If you haven't put your name in for tonight's VRS competition, do that now. It's the last night you can do it, so click that link in the description and get your name in. We'll be drawing that off the wheelie wheel next week at the end of the round. So round 10 next week, the final round of this series, will announce a champion. And Dylan O'Shea doing a crazy little run back to the pits here, but there is P2, Josh Banks and Rob Bowden. Once again, the top three, big congratulations to them. So here's the race results. Thanks to iRacing, a big thanks to iRacing. They do have an incredible platform here that we get to use for sim racing, and there's your official results. So those results there aren't affected obviously by the 10-second penalty Dylan O'Shea has. But if I was Dylan, I would probably be marching straight up to the stewards and saying, hey, let's have a re-look at that. I think that's possibly a little bit of a harsh one.
Well, if it is that, you know, and I don't know which issue it was or which incident it was, but if it was that one, I'd be certainly putting in an appeal in the right channels and do so. And I'm sure that Race Control will look at that absolutely properly and review it. And if whatever the outcome is, will be what it is.
Yeah.
But I did hear Rue giving instructions with regards to the green room, so there's no one in there yet.
No.
But he was giving some instructions into the green room, so I'm looking forward to seeing who arrives.
Yep, they're still out there doing their skids, so it is taking some time. This one process I am trying to speed up is getting guys in to have a chat. We've got Rob Bowden, he's the quickest tonight, so we'll bring him straight in. Now, Rob, we don't know if you're third or second yet. You might be able to shed some light on that.
I think I'm second.
Yeah, so Race Control Dylan's obviously got a 10-second penalty. Whether or not he, goes and sees the stewards after this and tries to get that overturned, for now we'll play it as it's in place. So you will get second tonight. Congratulations, mate. Interesting race. No safety cars, just plodded along.
Yeah, so it's second or third. It's still a podium. We get to speak to you there, Luke, so it's always a good time on the stream. Yeah, man, I was just trying to play it cool, as you said. Dylan was being a bit blocky at the start there, which hurt Ben Roberts, so I didn't want any bar of that. I thought if I just sit behind him, he was a bit too quick for us tonight, though. He pulled that big gap. And then Josh, I sat behind Josh for a while. I was in front of him for a little bit. It just kind of, I made a mistake at the worst possible time. I was kind of in a subconscious mind where I was just doing it autopilot, and as soon as it hit a curve, it just kind of, it shocked me, actually. I wasn't expecting it, so and then I lost the draft, so it was all over from there. But happy to come out of it pretty much unscathed and on the podium, and it's good stuff.
Ripper drive, mate. So big thanks, and it's good to see you up in the podium again. Who would you like to thank for tonight's drive for SRT, Tanked SRT?
Yeah, yourself, Luke. Obviously, you put mega hours in behind the scenes, so it's always good to watch these back with the boys. Dave as well for your nice insights in commentary, and Ruin and the boys, Lockie Ty, and that they always. This is like world class sort of series, so it's always great to do it. Looking forward to their Formula Forward series that they do too. Yeah, just the tank boys. We got all 6 of us into gold tonight, which was a massive slog. We had to work hard for that, so yeah, it was good to see us all in there. Just our team sponsors, BA Crocs and Dirt Division, and personal sponsors, Extreme Cuts, Warners Bay, and DPO, Direct Plus Sport Outlet.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you in that Formula Forward series too. I think you'll go great, and we hope to maybe speak to you on the podium in that one. That'd be a mega.
And I'm
It would be mega.
looking forward to seeing you at Spa next week for the final.
Yeah, it's love hate with Spa. I love it as it's a fantastic track in the F3, but there's a lot of other people that do big hours around there, kind of like Bathurst. It's kind of a niche track, and I don't always go good as much as it's fun to drive.
Yeah, it's a good fun place, and I don't really worry about the result. I just like driving it. Great circuit, one of the world's great circuits.
Very good. Thanks, Rob, for popping in for a chat. We haven't got the other 2 in, but we'll go straight across to Roo. We do have next week off, by the way. I got that wrong, so it's not next week. It's the week after that we're heading back for the final round. So we get a week off next week for Easter, which is fantastic. Looking forward to a couple of days off. But Roo, hello, welcome tonight. I know you're a busy man. You've put a million hours into this. First of all, F3A putting... FRG putting together this Formula Forward series, mate. I'm super impressed with the booklet you've put together. It's just mega excitement all around here, and that hard work you guys put in is evident through everything you do.
Amazing, and Dave won't blow his own trumpet, but I will. But kudos to Dave for putting together the prospectus, because it just looks better than the real world one, really. I'm just going to say that. I don't care. It looks better than what everyone else puts together. So it's so professional. It's so amazing, and it really helps the whole team get these things. So we're really happy.
That's Dave's trumpet, and it should be blown because it is incredible.
Yeah, and and there's more to come too, and it just keeps getting better and better. So stay tuned.
That was a bloody good trumpet, by the way.
Bloody comedians out of work, and you two want to be them.
That was a good. Was that not a good trumpet though?
I'm just worried what you were blowing.
Bit of a muted trumpet there.
Oh, mate, but great work again tonight, Roo. And no safety car. Hey, quickly talk us through that incident that we saw that has that 10-second penalty hanging over the head of Dylan O'Shea.
Yeah, so I mean, the angle that I flicked over, because I'm watching the race as well, but I've got the stewards on another screen, and the angle they were looking at from behind, and Ben Roberts' wheel was pretty much all in the grass, and O'Shea just janked right, come across him and didn't hit that wheel. So we didn't get any net code on our screen like you did, so they've issued the penalty. But we're all open to review it and look at different angles, and we'd like to do it open and get it right.
No, it's very good, mate. So we got one more week, which is in 2 weeks' time. Tonight was the last night you can enter the VRS competition, which is hopefully everyone's done that now. We will do the spinny wheel for the winner in 2 weeks, and a big thanks to Lovely Stickers and of course John at Racecraft for getting behind them. We'll get a new video hopefully for the last round that's not glitchy, because that new rig is incredible. So massive thanks to Racecraft Simulations and all their support too. Thanks, John.
Absolute champions. And you were kind of up and down on the finishing order, and Dylan O'Shea dropped a third, so he was still on the podium.
Okay. Yeah.
This car 223 or 233 behind him also had a 5-second penalty, so he didn't get the jump. So he didn't get the jump. So Dylan O'Shea did make it into third. He was on the podium. I don't even know if he's got his comms on. I told him to jump onto the green room, but I think he was having too much fun with the card.
Yep.
He was doing some beautiful drifting.
Yeah.
In lap.
And Josh has already Josh P2. Sorry, Josh will win that one. So Josh Banks has already gone to deposit that victory. And a great job.
Yeah, so Josh Banks, Rob Bowden, and Dylan.
So we'll see. We'll probably see Josh Banks plastered all over Facebook as a winner during the next day or so.
And it's incredibly close to Rob almost robbed the Banks.
Right, I'll give you that one.
Right, thank you.
That's good.
Well, thanks heaps again.
Clint.
Mega, and it's great having Dave in the comm box once again. Such insight tonight. So many good comments. And hey, to the credit to the viewers too, we cranked 100 messages over on YouTube tonight for the first time in a long time. I don't think I've seen that pop up, that message, for a good, I would say 12 months. So massive thanks to YouTube tonight on our brand new channel, RSTVAU. You guys are legends. Keep the subscriptions coming through. I think we're up over 200 and something now. So new channel obviously this year, and we're rebuilding and rebranding and getting it all to a state. So big thanks. But boys, enjoy your Easter. Take care. Hopefully you get some family time in, some time off, and a chance just to put the feet up maybe.
We got a fair bit of work.
We've got a bit of work to do. So yeah, I think we're just going to guts down the Easter meal and then back on the machine to make the other series happen.
Jason Field's in the house too. Hey Jason. But yeah, awesome. Take care, guys. Get yourselves an Easter bunny or two because you deserve it. And Dave and Rue, we'll see you in a couple of weeks, and Rob as well, who's still here in the chat. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.
Catch you later.
Cheers. That's it for tonight.